Bucks fans are absolutely livid at this, as the Milwaukee Bucks have a serious problem. And this is a problem that not only has fans livid, has fans fired up, but following what was a very interesting game one against the Indiana Pacers to start the playoffs, fans are clamoring for one change, and there was one thing that Bucks fans have been worried about for a while that came to life in this game. I'm going to break down exactly what that is and discuss what this means going forward. But before we get into it, if you're part of the 85% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Bucks content. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. Let's dive right into it. Not going to waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, a disaster. It was a disastrous game against the Indiana Pacers. And yes, the Bucks came back a little bit late in the game. We saw some things, but man, oh man, there was one problem. And in a game where Giannis Antetokounmpo absolutely shined, one of the better defensive plays I've ever seen, let alone in a playoff game, the Bucks fall short. And there is a ton of different things I want to dive into in this game, because boy, oh boy, this has put this was a culmination of a lot of the Bucks fans' worries surrounding one particular individual. Now, let's look at the box score here, which is a joke, by the way. 36 points for Giannis, 9 points for Lopez, 5 points for Ryan Rollins. And then you look at the bench, and you have Gary Trent Jr., Kevin Porter Jr., and AJ Green all putting up double digits in a very efficient outing. Now, the big problem I want to discuss today, of course, we'll dive into the game. We'll dive into what we saw. Of course, the defensive schemes that Rick Carlisle was throwing at the Bucks. It was always going to be a problem, always going to be an issue. Doc Rivers is the problem in tonight's game. Now, yes, I'm not going to give a free pass to Kyle Kuzma, who went scoreless in a minus 24. We're going to go back into that in a minute. The problem, at least this game, was Doc Rivers. And this is a pretty good example of what a lot of Bucks fans feared when he was initially hired. But of course, it came to light today. And again, the players have to play. I'm not putting 100% of the blame on Doc Rivers. The players have to come to play. Kuzma was awful. Rollins, Brook Lopez wasn't great, but still, he was fine. Taurean Prince went scoreless. Like, all these guys, the players at the end of the day have to play. But Doc Rivers needs to use the lineup that we know has been the most effective all year, and was one of the only reasons the team was even in the game towards the end of it. And that was the lineup that we're all familiar with. And it doesn't include Taurean Prince, Kyle Kuzma, or Brook Lopez. It includes AJ Green, Kevin Porter, and Gary Trent Jr. Giannis needs to be surrounded with players who can shoot the ball. That is obvious. It's not a surprise. All these different things. But to come out and continuously run the lineup that they were running up until the end, it was really disappointing. And obviously, the Pacers' offense was pretty disastrous there towards the end of the game. And I do ultimately think the Bucks are going to win the series. But throughout the whole game, like we were watching from the start, he was playing Prince, he was playing Kuzma, he was playing Lopez all together for, a pretty significant amount of minutes. And obviously, for one, that defensive lineup is really bad. The only decent defender there is Giannis and, of course, Taurean Prince and Brook Lopez in the interior, obviously. But against the Indiana Pacers team, we saw Lopez was too slow to recover. He's not able to help when TJ McConnell was cooking cooking Kevin Porter Jr. in the first half. He's not able to be reliable enough defensively, right? It's just not going to happen. And the unfortunate reality is this team is going to have to stop the offense of the Indiana Pacers. That is the only worry for this team is, hey, can you stop them in transition? And the unfortunate reality is Kuzma and Taurean Prince, they've been killing the Milwaukee Bucks really towards the end of the season, but really especially in this game. Now, Kuzma finished off the year very exciting. And obviously, I think he's going to have a bounce back game. I'm not going to go into full doom mode. But Doc Rivers needs to play and needs to do a better job at helping Giannis. He needs to make adjustments on the fly. And KPJ went 2 for 7, but he got to the free throw line 8 times. You have AJ Green. Throw him in the starting lineup. He looks fantastic, and he fits so well alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo and alongside everybody else that they need to run that lineup more. Gary Trent Jr. with a great game. They were the only 4 players with great games. Giannis, AJ, Green, Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr. Other than that, it was not only just a disastrous performance. I mean, you can see Kyle Kuzma went 0 for on free throws, 0 for from the field. He was terrible tonight. But in a game where the Bucks were down as much as almost 30 points, they still managed to almost come back. The Pacers offense looked absolutely terrible in the fourth. And you know what changed? The ability or lack of ability to abuse Brook Lopez in the pick and roll and abuse him in the paint. That is the number one difference that we saw in the fourth quarter. The Indiana Pacers are too quick. They're too good. And of course, they shot the heck out of the ball tonight. They shot the heck out of the ball. And that's not going to happen every game. And that's why I ultimately don't think this is a huge cause for concern. At least the players missing. The Bucks only shot 9 for 37 from 3. But it's the lineups that Doc Rivers are running. That's the big worry for me. And if you can't figure that out, then you are going to be in a very difficult position in, game 2. And of course, you look at it now, right? Gary Trent Jr., you got to run the lineup with, Gary, Kevin Porter Jr., AJ Green, Giannis, and then whoever else you throw in there, depending on what the other team is running. But Giannis is doing everything he possibly humanly can to make this team work and to win them a game. But it was the first 3 quarters of the game are pretty bad. And it was, I don't like the starting lineup. I think it needs to change. I don't like the way that the team came out defensively. I mean, there's people already clamoring about how Chris Middleton would be better than Kyle Kuzma. I'm going to give Kyle Kuzma some credit. He's shooting like 62% from three over the last handful of games. He's going to be fine. But again, if you're running a Kyle Kuzma lineup, if you're running a Brook Lopez lineup, your defense is so poor that you're going to have to find ways to compensate. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton was slicing and dicing. Siakam was hitting his shots. Miles Turner is getting left wide open. And they're obviously tripling Giannis Antetokounmpo, and no one else was able to hit shots until they put on the big lineup of a bunch of shooters. Up until that point, they were just tripling Giannis Antetokounmpo. You can see it in the thumbnail to the point where it's like, why are we even? It's frustrating. Of course, no one was able to hit shots in the starting lineup. They hit 1-3, and Giannis shot 2 of them. Kuzma couldn't hit. Brook Lopez couldn't hit. Ryan Rollins couldn't hit. Torian Prince couldn't hit. You have to surround him with shooters. Bobby Portis with a really bad game as well. You have no choice at this point. And if they don't fix this problem, we're going to have Giannis Antetokounmpo for another year come out, play a fantastic game of basketball, and be left with whatever this was, where Giannis was the best player on the floor. He put up 36 points, 8 for 15 from the free throw line. If his free throws can get good, I mean that's obviously the storyline of Giannis's life at this point. He'd be one of the best players. I mean, he still is one of the best players I've ever seen. He'd be elite, in the playoffs as well. And again, he was elite in this game. It's not taking anything away from him. But the Pacers are going out of their way to foul Giannis, and they're going to have to make him hit his free throws. But they are doubling Giannis. They are tripling Giannis. They are doing everything in their power to get the ball out of his hands. And when you have Kyle Kuzma, Brook Lopez, Ryan Rollins, if you can't hit shots, if that starting lineup can't hit shots, it is a disaster because on defense, again, they are abusing Kyle Kuzma, and specifically they are abusing Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez was also, I don't know, it's also a bit of a mental game. I mean, you look at the box score of course, the Indiana Pacers. I mean, you saw Pascal Siakam. He put up 25. Miles Turner put up 19. You have Andrew Nembhard going to work. Like, the team isn't fast enough. TJ McConnell put up 11 points just by dribble hesitation and penetrating the paint, and no one is fast enough on the Bucks side to A, stop him on the ball, and B, play enough help side defense. It was a disastrous, frustrating game. The Bucks are fine. Dame is nearing a return here. And we saw one of the crazier plays. Again, they got it to a 12-point game by running the lineup that they should have been running the entire time with Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers should have been running the entire time. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They ended up losing by 19, 117 to 108. It's frustrating. But again, if they make these adjustments, they'll be good to go. But at the end of the day, they are in I'm not going to say they're in serious trouble, but if Doc Rivers doesn't adjust, and we know the playoff struggles he's had in the past, this is the worry of Bucks fans. Hopefully, the Bucks can get this done and win the next game with Dame returning. That'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. If you think I'm talking out of my butt here, let me know down below what your thoughts are. It's a frustration most Bucks fans have been feeling for a while, and now Doc Rivers, he needs to make these adjustments.